Hello and welcome to PAXTON ROAD TV. This is your PAXTON ROAD TV preview show for the game Leeds United versus Tottenham Hotspur. Tomorrow kicks off 12:30 at Elland Road. I am Sam Spurs for life, joined in the house by the one and only from Art Sid. Sid says, Sid Spurs. How are we doing, Sid? You all right?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, just recovering from yesterday, mate. You know, just recovering.
Don't
Going
say
to
too
the. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Nah. I was just, you know what? Let's just say the majority of the plastic fans from them over down the road, I managed to do what they've been probably trying to do for years and ends. Let's just put it that way.
Fabulous. Before we get started then on this preview, make sure watching live, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button for us as well. Watching on catch up, make sure you do that. Comment in the comment section, send us your comments as well. We'll endeavor to try and get all the comments up whilst we can, and we'll read through some of them as well. And me and Sid will now take a chance to go through this game tomorrow. Let me get the banner up in the bottom. Welcome to PAXTON ROAD TV preview show. Okay, right. One win, 4 losses we've had so far in 5 games. We've seen what's happened when Conte loses games after the shenanigans of the midweek. It's difficult because that outburst for me was real. It was honest. It was definitely something that I think most fans would agree they feel, but whether or not they wanted the truth to be exposed like that, I'm not sure. What influence do you think that will have on tomorrow, Sid, from the players' perspective?
You know, Conte had to do what he had to do. Yeah, he's just a man frustrated, and he's not used to losing. Okay, he might lose one game, but he's not used to losing 2, 3, 4 games, and especially 4 out of 5 games. He's probably not even seen that, you know, and he was just frustrated, unhappy, so he just took out his frustration out. And tomorrow could go 2 ways for me. All them players probably saw that interview, or they've been watching it over and over again and talking about it in their state-of-the-art training facilities and whatever, sat there when they're eating. And it's either, boys, manager's already shown his heart, his passion, and he's gone mental, he's gone ballistic. You know, this is a world-class manager and we've let him down big time. So we need to step up. Or it could think, oh no, boss has had a fit, boss has gone ballistic. Oh no. If I step onto that pitch now, I make a mistake, I'm done for. So it literally could swing in roundabout. It could be either a top-notch performance and they get their fingers out their asses, or some of them just freeze and it gets worse.
Yeah, and that's my concern. My concern is I haven't seen anything historically in the last 3, 4, 5 years that suggests to me that these players do well under, pressure. And this is pressure that's been applied. He's applied pressure by his press conference. He's applied pressure. He said something in his press conference today that, and they was asking, alluding to the fact that he's made these comments and how he thinks the players are going to be, or how the players are responding on the coach back, playing back, whatever they did from Burnley. And his answer was they should be angry. But that's it. No reaction, anything. He said, that's it. Angry. He said there should be no other reaction to that. So it was designed in a way to make them angry. I just hope that they use that anger, because if you're going to choose a team to play against, I think now, having seen what Leeds' results, we'll get to some of the results in a bit, this is the best team that you could hope to play, given the run we've had and obviously the run that they've had. But Sid, as you know, as we all know, Dr. Tottenham does its best, do their best to try and make things as hard as possible. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
This is, what you just said. After the results that we've had recently, this is the best team to play. Do you honestly don't think Leeds will be sat there thinking, given the results they've had in the last 5 games, Tottenham is the team to beat, or is the team to play, considering we've leaked 4 against Man U, 6 against Liverpool? who better to play than Dr. Tottenham? So, you know what? Both them managers will be saying the same thing. That's the team to play. That's the team to play. And if you're going to ask me, who do I think will give a better performance in terms of for the manager? I honestly believe Leeds will give the better performance because he'll get his players revved up. No offense, as in to say Don Revie, revved up. But he'll get the players more revved up and they'll be more in it together than I think all players will be. So if you're asking me who's in pole position for tomorrow's game, I'd say Leeds because it's at Elland Road.
It's going to be very close. We've played at Leeds once in the recent Premiership history, because obviously Leeds have been out of the Premier League for some time. And again, we'll get to some of those results. But an away game at Elland Road is always tough at the best of times anyway. The fans, again, it's going to be very key to seeing how the fans respond because, as you said, the last two games that they've played, they've conceded 10 goals. They've conceded 10 goals and scored 2. And that was the 2 that scored against Man United in the 4-2 defeat. Will the crowd be with them? I think that they probably will. The more important thing for me is though, is Bielsa going to change anything to come into this game with? Because we've seen that they don't change their way of playing. I think Conte, again, he's very stubborn in his way of playing. So it's going to be one of those, right, I'm playing my way. Bielsa say, well, I'm doing my way. There's going to be space all over the pitch if you create space because Leeds will probably mark man to man unless. And this is the question I wanted to ask you. Do you think Leeds will change the way they play after the defeats that they've had and now they're going to be playing us tomorrow afternoon?
So, you know what? My theory, right? This is my theory. Go with me, yeah? Go with me. You know when they come at the stadium at 12:30 or 3 o'clock, whenever they play, and they put the music on, marching on together. Yeah, they put the music on, marching on together. That's the song that they come out to tomorrow. In general, isn't it? I believe because of the two managers in question tomorrow, you know what they're coming out to tomorrow, don't you? Everything changes but you. From take that, because neither of them are going to change anything. This is the problem, isn't it? Yeah. Both the managers are going to go in with their philosophies, and as far as they're concerned, that's their way of playing. That's their best formation. That's how they want to play, and they'll continue playing it because. We've had this discussion on Talking Points on all the Spurs programs that we do, and we've all been crying out for him to change the system. He hasn't done it yet because he's comfortable with it, and he doesn't want to try the other system. Bielsa is exactly the same. He will not change that system. So I think tomorrow is none of the managers are going to change the system, even though they've conceded 4 and 6. They're just going to go out there because they remind me of the days and the Aussie Ordealers where they'll just gung-ho. If we concede, we concede. So what? I mean, Liverpool game, they only conceded, 3 or 4 in the last 5. I think they scored 2 in the injury time and 1 in the 80th and something. So I think they're just not gonna change their process and their methods. And he's just gonna say to them, there you go, boys. There's the ball. There's the team. Off you go.
Yeah, you're probably right from what you're saying. Leeds will probably look at this and say, of all the teams that they've got to play next, they probably want to play us, given what happened on Wednesday, given the turmoil that surrounds our club at all times, almost, given, that it looked and appeared that we might not even have a manager for Saturday, let alone, a team to play against them well. So there's a lot of ups and downs. I think that's maybe settled a little bit now that, Conte's obviously given his press interview, blah, 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 blah. I still think, though, he's got that volatility. And because of the way the game it's going to be pressure for both teams. I think it's a must-win for both teams. So I expect there will be a degree of whether it's kept tight at the start or whether it's not kept tight at the start. They're both going to go for this victory at some point. So, yeah, buckle up, people. I would suggest that. Definitely buckle up. Do you think then, I'm going to say it anyway, if the unthinkable were to happen and we were to lose tomorrow, given the match, we've got a midweek game against Middlesbrough in the Cup. So forget that now. But if we just lost and it was 5 out of 6 league games, playing devil's advocate here, how do you think that's going to affect Conte going forward? Is he just going to... Because what he said was... And I'm sorry to interrupt you again. He made this point about patience. He said that patience word. But then he's very impatient about, the results and not getting what he seems to think from these players. He's already made it quite clear he hates losing. To have 5 losses in 6 games with only 1 victory in that, what do you think that will do if that was to occur, Sid?
He's not. He said he's not going to walk. He's already said in it, I'm here till the end of the season, and then obviously that's when the big discussion is going to take place, and we'll decide. Well, Daniel Levy will decide my future. That's what I think, because whether he backs him or not is going to be the main key. He ain't going to walk. He can't walk because he will not want that on his CV, to fact that he went to Spurs and he walked out of Spurs. I don't think he's ever walked out of a club before. He's left at the end.
Oh, we may have lost you there slightly there, Sid. If you can get back on. Whilst you're doing that, make sure you come back on. Oh, you're back there. Sorry, I just lost you for a minute. I don't know if it was my stream or whatever was yours. But anyway,
I was going to say, yeah. If the unthinkable happens tomorrow and he does lose, right, that's 5 out of 6. He'll probably have another rant.
Sid, not sure if it's you or it's me, but looking like you're frozen a little bit there with your stream. So I don't know if you want to come back in. I'm going to remove you just to come back in if you can. I'm going to continue on. Let's have a look at some of this whilst we wait for Sid to come back in. So preview-wise, league table and form so far. Manchester City top with 63 points, as we can see. Let me just take off this. Add Sid to the stream. Hopefully you're back on in a minute. Liverpool in second, 60 points. Yeah, now it's getting interesting points. 26 games played. Manchester United, 46 points. Obviously, we saw the result yesterday. Arsenal, a late drama, picking up the win against Wolves, 45 points. West Ham United on 42 points. Wolves in 40, and us on 39. Yeah, it's going to be. It has to be a must win. We look at Leeds down there in 23. Their form's terrible as well. Just looking at now going into the form, the last 5 league games for us. Obviously, we know about the 1-0 defeat at Burnley, Turf Moor. Fantastic result against Manchester City, 3-2. But then we look at some of the other results previous to that, 0-2 against Wolves, 2-3 against Southampton, and obviously the Chelsea loss as well. So that's the reason for the terrible amount of goals we've conceded. 10 goals, scored 5, form, 4 losses, 1 win. It really is going to be a tough one. Let's have a look at some of these comments, see what people are saying here. Potomac saying, hoping for a tremendous attitude change from our players after this Conte fiasco. It was a bit of a fiasco, wasn't it, Potomac? But I think what it was for me, it was truth. It was a lot of truth being told. It's maybe the old phrase, truth hurts. And it's probably what it has done to a lot of the Spurs fans. Why is this guy, I say this guy, I don't mean it in the derogatory terms, he's an elite manager, but why is he able to say these things? And I kind of mentioned it before, Jose Mourinho, if he'd have said something like that or said things like that, we'd all be on his case. So again, we have to look at the reasons behind why that would be. But yeah, scored 5 goals, conceded 10 in the last 5 games. That's not good. That's definitely not good. Looking at Leeds form then, let's have a look and see what they've been doing. Last 5 games, 6-0 loss last time out at Anfield, a 4-2 loss at home to Manchester United, 3-0 loss to Everton, a 3-3 draw against Villa, and an hour loss back in January against Newcastle. But the form, 1 draw, 4 losses, scored 5, conceded 17 goals. If this isn't the best team that we could play, given all the shenanigans that's happened, they're probably going to say exactly the same thing. Both teams are in horrendous form. Last 5 matches, Tottenham Hotspur against Leeds. Last time out, we beat them 2-1 back in November 2021. Before that, towards the end of the season, Leeds won 3-1. But we're pretty decent against them in terms of games played in the last 5, won 4, lost 1. But that doesn't tell the whole story. Let's have a look at what happens at Elland Road. And obviously with Leeds only recently coming back into the league, we look at this last 5 games at Elland Road. Make of it what you will. So in recent memory, obviously, you know, the last time out, we lost 3-1, but we'd have to go back now prior to 2004, around about 2004, to look at some of these results. And we only had 1 win in the last 5. So the omens don't suggest it's looking good for us, but I'm hoping that the form of this team is going to make a massive difference, you know, because if we look at just the away form to Leeds, not so sure. It's a good one for us, but it's a must-win game. I don't know if you guys think the same thing. Put that in the comments section below. I think it's definitely a must-win. Let's go back and have a look at some of the comments. So we've got Postmac saying, an average side playing as a team and a purpose can beat an overconfident Spurs. We have to play with a purpose and statement starting tomorrow. 100% agree. 100% agree with that, Postmac. It's all about the attitude. I said after the Manchester City game that the Burnley game was going to be the more important game for us to pick up the result, which shows the attitude of the players. Now, these players, having heard their manager literally go off at them, have got to respond. They have to respond to that. But the added pressure is this is a must-win game. It's not like we can just perform well and maybe come away with a draw. I think if anything, we have to be the ones to win this game. We have to be the ones to take it to them. And I think we will. And the way that Leeds play, if they don't change the way of playing, it should be an open and expansive game. Paul saying, good afternoon, Sam, Sid, and chat. Sid's just gone off for a little bit. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but he might be back. He might not be having internet problems. Even man, big up Eugene is saying. So we've got a few people in the chat. Here we go. Even man, hope we get a win tomorrow. You and me both. I really do. If it doesn't rain, we will smash Leeds. It's something you say there that we are affected by the weather. Let me go on to this. It's just me at the moment, guys. So I'm going to do the score prediction. I'm going to have a think about this. Right. Okay. We have to win. I'm going to be positive. I know that we are renowned for being Dr. Tottenham, and anytime we expect, we always get the unexpected. So the expected tomorrow, you know, a lot of people think Elland Road last time out we lost, and because of the last performance that, you know, Spurs are in the doldrums. We are in the doldrums, but I think tomorrow we can get this victory. I really do. It is going to be about, you know, creating as much space as possible. If Leeds play in exactly the same way, we have to make and create as much space as possible on the pitch for us to take advantage of that. And look who's back. Look who's back. I added you back in. Sorry about that, Sid. I don't know what happened there. I went through a few things.
Yeah, the bloody Virgin Media just decided to cut my whole connection off by the looks of it. So I'm hotspotting now. So thanks a lot, Virgin.
I went through some of the stats, but I'll go through them again because it made some interesting reading. Obviously, you didn't get to see, so I'll have a quick look again with you. Let's have a look. Right, okay. So our form, Sid. 4 losses, 1 win, scored 5, conceded 10. We won't go through that too much because we've done that to death. But looking at Leeds, again, their last 5 games, 4 losses, 1 draw. So no wins in 5, conceded 17, scored 5. Only scored in what, 2 of those games? You know, they scored in that 3-3 and obviously the 4-2 against Manchester United. So they're not likely to really be overly confident in terms of goal scoring. Where's this game going to be won and lost?
Do you know what? For me, I think Kane and Son are going to be important tomorrow going forward because they're going to rely on what's his name? The one they bought from Man United. James. Gonna be,
and James.
Yeah, he's probably going to be the one. Rafinha, I don't know if he's going to start or not. Rodrigo's another one as well, but they haven't got an out because Bamford's out. But for me, it's going to be, they've got wing backs that can run. Mm-hmm. They've got defenders and midfielders that can run and create problems. And I personally think, now that Bentancur's out as well, I think that game tomorrow is going to be dependent on the midfield because I personally think they'll have midfielders that are going to be willing to run and give everything, whereas we could end up with, by the looks of it, it's going to be Højbjerg and Winks, probably.
Now, do you think, again, sorry to interrupt you, Right.
No.
He's got to change. He's got to change the team tomorrow because obviously Bentancur, he's made that quite clear that he's injured. He can't play it. He might be out for a couple of weeks potentially. So that midfield is going to have to change. And we've seen that in the past. It has been the likes of Winks coming in because Skip's not available. But do you not think we've got to do a little bit more about beefing up this midfield tomorrow? I'm concerned that I don't. If we have Winks a midfield of Winks and Højbjerg, there's not enough legs in there to really carry a real box-to-box threat to Leeds. What's your thoughts?
Alternative, Sam? What alternative? We haven't got an alternatives, have we? Harvey White probably is. That's it. We haven't got anybody else. That Skips out. Bentancur's out. That's 50% of our midfield's out, and they're the two potential. They're probably the ball carriers, the more influential stroke technical players that we've got. The two that we've left with tomorrow is a massive problem, unless he decides to completely change it up, and maybe, I don't know, you're then looking at it's hard. I mean, Mora, you've got Bergwijn, maybe put Mora in the middle, I don't know, or even you're probably going to hate me to say this, but again, there's no alternative. Roden, and you put Roden in, you put Dyer in the middle of the midfield.
I don't think he's going to go for that.
He's not. I know he's not. He's not going to do it.
Yeah,
but
it's that sort of suggestion that people are saying that why can't Dyer come into the midfield? I think he's too important at the back for us, to be honest with you. You know what? I'm thinking tomorrow, Conte's going to play his three at the back. I don't think he's going to change that. No. Although I'd think about possibly looking at. I think the biggest thing is the strategy that he's got to employ. With Leeds, you've got to create as much space as possible because they will, if they play in the same way they have been playing for the last 2 years being in the Premiership, second year being in the Premiership, they will go man for man. So what we want is, or what we need is guys who can beat a first press. Because if you can receive the ball and you beat your man, then you should have acres of space if everybody else is utilized drawing their man out wide. So it's about, getting opportunities to beat your man or move the ball quickly and keep the movement going. So it's very fluid. I'm just not sure Winks and Højbjerg in the middle of the midfield have got that. So I would probably maybe, and this might sound a little bit attacking and adventurous, just go for Højbjerg and put in just ahead of him, have a free. It'd be a free. I guess it's a 3-4-1-2. So I'd have. Oh, man, it doesn't work like that. I'm going to have Højbjerg just as the holding midfield, and then probably put two ahead of him, and then two ahead of him, if that makes sense. So it'd be like a 3-1, I guess 3-2 if you count the wing backs as being that sort of player.
But then
it's going to be difficult.
Who's the two? Which two would you put in front of him? Who would you put in front of him? Obviously, more.
Kulishevsky, if I was doing it, I'd maybe put those two in there. Potentially look at Bergwijn, but I'm definitely having Son and Kane as a top two. Kane will do what Kane does and probably drop him, but if you're going to start him off, maybe start him off as a 2, and then it's just going to have to be very fluid in that middle area. But I'm thinking that we should almost go all out attack, have the one player that's a designated holding midfielder. We know Højbjerg can do that role well. We've already got 3 defenders. Why should we have to go 2-2 defensive in this game? Because it's going to be an attack game, in my opinion.
It's going to be. And what I don't want tomorrow is mass centre back running more forward than Kane. Because Romero is so far forward. Why not use that out forward instead? Right?
Your stream's very, very. Oh, it's a bit better now, but it was very, very Dalek-y. Said I'm going to have to cut you off again at the moment because it's just a little bit Dalek-y at the moment. See if you can join back if you're watching. So let's go back to the comments here again. Let's just do this off screen. Back to me. I'm adding him back. Is this any better? Any better? You're back, but like I said, we've had some technical difficulties in this preview show, guys. Luckily, the game is at 12:30. Levy out. I can hear you, but it's a little bit staccato, Sid. So we might have to, miss out on you today. Sorry about that, guys. Just apologies for some technical difficulties that Sid's having. Comment here. I'd like to see Stevie B and or Lucas start this time. I agree. As I said before, what I was just mentioning, we need players that can beat the press. If you can beat your man, Lucas is ideal at that. But again, Lucas, in terms of receiving the balls, just bouncing off him, as Sean's got rubbish in. Sean H has said that before. So I want players that can receive the ball, beat a player, and then look for those players who are going to be in the spaces looking to attack. So this 3-5-2 of some kind we're going to have to do. And I'm just not sure who's going to start. It's going to be a real starting 11. I think it's going to be Winks. I think Winks is probably going to come in for Bentancur. But do you think that Conte will go for this 3-5-2, guys? Put your things in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me go back to score predictions because it's just me. Right, so must win. It's a must win, regardless of what anything else performance-wise. We have to get a performance, I know. But if you had to say, right, performance or result, it's all about the result tomorrow to me. It doesn't matter how we get this win. It doesn't matter what we need to do. We're going to have to get this win. But it's going to be a tight game, I think. Both teams concede. Both teams haven't really scored a lot in the last few games, but it's going to be open. I'm going 2-1. I'm going 2-1 Spurs. I always like that 2-1. You know what? No, I'm not going to go 2-1. I'm going to go more than that. I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs. If we score the first goal, it'd be even more open because Leeds will have to then throw everything caution to the wind. They do anyway. But that first goal, that's so important for us tomorrow. If we get that first goal, I think we can go on and score 2-3 goals, definitely. Leeds will have at some point an opportunity to get back in the game. But I think if we get 2 goals up, even if it gets to 2-1, we can probably score again. So I'm going 3-1. I'm not going to say what Sid's going to think, but I'm going that Sid was probably going to say that we're going to win tomorrow. So I'm going to make Sid's one up whilst he's not here. I'm going to say, for you, Sid, I'm going to say 2-1. That would have been my score had I not gone gung-ho and said 3-1. Let's have a look. Let's see what we're saying on some of these. Amanda Juma is saying Leeds are wide open. Manchester United and Liverpool in evidence this. They also have players that time to bounce back. Spurs, you will definitely get opportunities tomorrow. I'm hoping so, Monday. I really do, because we can't. Looking at the form, as I said before, you don't want to be going five games losing and then only 1 victory. That would be unthinkable. Do you think Bielsa will risk playing against one of the best counter-attacking teams in the league? Yes, I do, Potomac. I think I do. The evidence suggests that in the games that we've talked about, Liverpool, he lost 6-0. Leeds against Manchester United, he lost 2-4. Everton, they lost 3-0 to. If he's not learned his lesson by now, he never will. So I can see him playing exactly the same way. But because of the fact that we are a little bit vulnerable as well, it might be interesting. My prediction, Dr. Tottenham to the rescue. Stuart, we've been there before. Potomac saying 4-2 to the Spurs. Lockman, thank you for watching. Stevie on the left wing. Lucas on the right. Højbjerg, Deji, and Winks in the middle of midfield. 3-5-2. Yes, I'm looking at that. What's Amonde saying? 1-0 to the Spurs. Thank you, Amonde. I know you really don't want us to win tomorrow because it won't help Man United out. But thank you for the support, even if it's a bit of a fake one, Monday. But I see you. 1-1, Lockman saying here. Paul, what have you got to say? I'm feeling a lot better after watching Conte's press conference today. Hopefully his words after the Burnley game will bring Levy and himself into some kind of better alignment. Well, if not, if anything, he was honest. He was very honest, very emotional. I think that's what we're going to have to get used to from, if things don't go according to Conte's plan. Bangkok 69, thank you for watching. We will thrash Leeds like 4-0 and then get knocked out of the FA Cup by Middlesbrough on Tuesday. Hi, Monday. Monday's being said hi to, and Monday, thank you for watching this. Guys, I think that's enough. We're not going to get Sid back. So, Sid, your score, as I said, you can take the 2-1. I'm taking 3-1. I'm hoping that all us Spurs fans will stick with the team tomorrow. We've got to be behind them. I know if you're not physically there as an away fan, it's difficult to watch Spurs at times, but this is our team. This is what we've got to do. We've got to maintain maintain the enthusiasm, maintain the hope, you know, but it is the hope that kills, as we always know. But I think we can get the result tomorrow. Derek Hutchinson is saying 3-0 to the Spurs. Right, I think that is it, guys. Make sure you hit that like button if you are watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button again if you are new to the channel. Keep liking, keep subscribing to, or subscribe to channel. Also, look out for our future shows. Tomorrow we've got the post-match reaction show just after final whistle, which will be at 2:35. Look out for Judge Jodi as well, either Sunday or Monday. Sid says, all right, Sid should be back tonight, 7:30 potentially, but if not, it will be feature episodes. We will definitely have a lot more stuff from PAXTON Road coming. So I think that'll do. That will do. Just a quick things here. Again, G's not saying, come on, you Spurs. And big up. Thank you, Talk and Ball. That is enough for now. Let me see if I can just get this score prediction off and this. Thank you all for watching. It has been your PAXTON Road preview show for the game. Leeds United versus Tottenham Hotspur kicks off tomorrow, 12:30, Elland Road. Remember to tune in after the full-time whistle, 2:35, for our reaction show. And I hope it's going to be less emotional and just a straightforward, yay, Spurs won. Come on, you Spurs. Again, thank you all for watching. We'll see you again soon.